Alright, you little whores. Y'all been pissing me the fuck off, okay? Okay, y'all need to stop. I've been hearing for my whole life, this generation is so lazy. This generation is so that. Consistently have been told that my generation is this, my generation's this, my generation's that. So, I wanted to settle this dispute because this has been a thing that everybody and their fucking mother has been saying. Let's settle this. It was recently, I'm not going to say where, but I was somewhere with people that I respect, and they were saying some pretty crazy shit about my generation. So, basically, my question is, are we a bunch of generations of sissies? Or is the millennial generation a bunch of lazy, disrespectful people? Alright, so y'all bitches are gonna follow me while we embark on this journey together. Okay? Okay? So, millennials, they make up what is supposed to be, I think, 24 to like 36 or some shit. Basically, millennials are people who should be in their 30s on average. So I can sit here all day and talk about my experiences of being a millennial. Or I can hit you with numbers. The numbers go as this. When anybody tells you this generation is this generation's that, what are the numbers? What's data? Millennials make up about 1/3 of the police force in our nation. Millennials make up at least 80% of our active duty military. There's a big chunk that are cops. There's a big chunk that are military. Ain't that one of the hardest groups in this motherfucking society that we care and love? Ain't that one of the most respected groups of people? I'm not even including firefighters, EMTs. The millennial generation makes up a good chunk, maybe if not half, of all of these respected fields. Nurses, doctors, these people that we're told to salute and are heroes. Millennials make up a lot of that, yet they're lazy. Did you know millennials make up this much number of the workforce? It's not like we're a more work ethnic generation. It's just how time fucking works, you idiots. Millennials are not babies. They make up a good chunk of what is to be the working population. That's how time works, you dumb fucks. And let's hit with more numbers. Millennials have obtained a higher level of education, more so than the prior generation. In some, millennials obtained masters, even bachelors, more than the previous. Now, that isn't some new age fucking crazy craze. It's just time. The generation before was obtaining high school diplomas at higher rates than the generation before them. It happened, it's always going to happen. The generation next always gets better. Yet, when there are issues and you need to pinpoint some bad things going on with the generation, it's defaulted to that generation's just lazy, they're just this, they're just that. When in reality, if there's a huge amount of students getting loans, we should look at the price of loans. We should look at the price of the tuition. But no, the defaulted argument is they're just stupid and bad with money. If you know any 18-year-old who's good with money, please show me, because a majority of them are fucking stupid. But in that case, you could pinpoint that there's some systematic issue. But again, we default to they're just stupid. That leads to my second point. Now, respect is very subjective. To some, it means one thing. To other, it can be another. To me, being respectful is treating the janitor the same way you would treat the CEO. I've seen many cases of Karens the most viral videos, the most prominent Karens, are you typically older people disrespecting some cashier or some dude working at Trader Joe's just because he asked them to put a mask on, just because they asked for one thing and they got the other and there was a mistake, or you used the wrong barbecue coal in the wrong park. I don't know. They're crazy. And those are more egregious examples, but rarely have I seen young people do it. Now, it's anecdotal and not something I would hinge on statistically, but respect is not even a thing you can measure stuff with. It's so subjective. But again, how I gauge respect is how people treat one another. I feel like that's a pretty straightforward example. And those same people that called my generation lazy and my generation disrespectful, I've seen them treat the cashier like shit. To me, that's a sign of respect, and they don't have it. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they would be saying the same thing about generations after them and how disrespectful, when in reality, I don't even think they know what respect is. That's just crazy, people. I think if you're disrespecting the janitor because you have a little higher level position than him, you're fucking scum. But I've seen the same people who tell me it's disrespectful, this generation. I've seen those people, the same people that said that shit to me. Disrespect a cashier, throw away trash on the floor, and say, well, I'm keeping the job security for the janitor. Wow, you're not a piece of shit. And finally, the big fucking point, isn't that what's supposed to be? Aren't we supposed to be wanting the generation to have it easier than the last? Aren't we making our kids' lives easier? I could argue we're not. But isn't that supposed to be the point? That we make it better? I mean, we are in a gilded age, but there's some jackass will tell you that they had it harder when they were younger. And maybe they did, but with a weird competition to make your kid have it harder than you? But it builds character. Yeah, there's a reason why men commit suicide at such a large rate, because we've been taught by generation that men have to be tough. There's a reason why women don't go into fields, because they've been taught generation after generation that they're not supposed to. I'm not saying it's all bad, but there are things we can learn from our generation that don't work, and some shit that does. And that's the point of a society. But the thing that isn't going to help us is if we all sit around with our dicks in our hands and say stupid shit like, these people have it easy. These people are all stupid. It don't work like that. Alright, keep that pussy popping.